So, Jordan, what do you have for us today in your topic?
So today, we're getting closer and closer to E3, so I thought instead of using this time for like an E3 predictions topic, which we'll get to closer to the actual event, what I wanted to do was kind of break down the two consoles that the three of us are most familiar with, which is PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. So I guess, Jared, you'll be on the Xbox One side, Dom, you'll be on the PlayStation side, and I'll kind of be in the middle since I play both. But what I want to do is kind of break down each console, what the things that you love about it, whether it's, the user interface or even like physical parts of the box itself that you think look cool. And then, of course, like several of the exclusives that really entice you to play this console. Just give me some reasons of why Xbox is awesome, why PlayStation's awesome, and I'll kind of bounce back and forth between the two.
So we're going to have a console war.
No. Because I think after you talk about what you like about the PS4, before I get into what I like about the Xbox One, I want to say what I enjoy about the PS4 as well, even though I don't own one.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Exactly. I think we can bounce back and forth on that. But yeah, I guess just don't be afraid to get down to the nitty gritty. Like I said, if you even want to talk about like the physical specs of the box itself, like whatever you want to talk about, for your console or the opposite is fine. So I guess, Jared, take us away. Tell me about the old X-Bone.
Alrighty, I'll go first like Xbox did when they unveiled the Xbox One, and hopefully I don't screw it up as bad. So first off, I want to get to why I bought an Xbox One at launch over a PS4. The biggest reason for me as a gamer wasn't exclusives, because there was nothing really worthy of it at that point. It was that more of my friends were buying an Xbox One. Simply that. I was fine going either way. I don't know if I explained this on the show before, but I grew up with a PlayStation and a PlayStation 2. I didn't own an Xbox. I was a Sony fanboy. I loved my Crash. I loved my Spyro. Like, I was a huge Sony fan. And then once the 360 came around, all of my friends owned a 360. No one owned a PS3 because none of us could afford one. So that's why I moved to Xbox 360, and it was just a natural progression. Getting into why I like the Xbox One, I think its user interface is great. That was one of my biggest gripes with the PS3. I did own one towards the end of the generation just for Last of Us. I absolutely despise the PlayStation UI. I don't know if it changed on PS4. Dom will get into that. But I love the Xbox One user interface. It's easy. It's simple. You can snap things. You can customize things. When it comes to achievements and trophies, I'm sure if I had a PlayStation 3 and 4, I would love trophies. But I love achievements. It's kind of my legacy on Xbox, which is cool. I also like the animation for achievements. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but it's like this little like circle that bloops up, and then it extends and it shows achievement unlocked. And yeah, it's really cool. I just like the animation for that. I like a lot of the games that have been through Xbox's legacy, even though I didn't buy Halo 5. I'm a huge Halo fan, so before Halo 5 came out, I was under the impression I was going to get it because I've never not bought Halo 5, but it just really rubbed me the wrong way. What else? I want to get to Quantum Break. I haven't been able to. I think I'm going to try to get to that. A lot of this is just barred from me not having expendable income. But yeah, it's familiar, and it's even though I was cool to jump ship to go to the PS4, I'm not going to lie, I'm comfortable being back in the ecosystem I'm used to. It would have sucked to have to start over and get trophies and not have any kind of legacy there, so that really would have affected me. But yeah, I think if you want to know an Xbox, I think it's the more social out of the two consoles, to be completely honest with you. I think if you're a multiplayer gamer, I think Xbox is really great for that. Their social aspects of their party platform and everything, I think it's really solid. They've been known for shooters for a long time. I think their social features are just so well done. And I just really love the console. It's just home to me. I like that it's Microsoft because it works with Windows 10, and I like having that cross over from my PC. I like being able to stream directly to my PC. You can do that on PS4 now, which is awesome. But yeah, I love the fact that it's so in bed with Microsoft. I think that's why its UI is better. I think that's why it sometimes runs better. It's just because they know about that stuff. But by no means do I think Xbox One has a reason why you should own it and not a PS4. I think that it has games that would warrant you to own an Xbox One. I think Quantum Break is one of those games. Once again, I haven't played it, but from everything I've heard, it seems like a game that, you know, entices you. Plenty of Xbox exclusives coming. Cuphead, Below, those are just two to name. Like, those games are going to be awesome. I highly doubt they won't be. Yeah, I don't want to go too long. I want to hear what Dom has to say about PS4. That's just why I love Xbox One, why I chose when it launched, so.
Yeah.
Wait, is Below an Xbox exclusive?
Yep, Xbox One exclusive.
Ooh, I did not know that.
Yep.
I will say, I will buy an Xbox One confirmed for Alan Wake 2 when that's announced.
Awesome.
I'll give you my word on that right now.
All right.
So I guess for me, the most important thing, and you hit it first, was where your friends are. That's where you want to go.
Yep.
Because generally, when you're playing with your friends, it's going to be a better experience, even if it's on a crappier game. And most games are on both of these consoles anyway. So after that, the next point you want to look at is what exclusives does each console have that you prefer?
Yep.
For me...
And care about.
Yeah, exactly. For me, this gen, PlayStation was just an easy choice. The 360 generation. I had played all the Halo games, all the Gears games, all 3 Fable games. Their exclusives were just getting tired on me a little bit. All great games. I love
and you
all
liked
those
Alan
games.
Wake too, so.
And Alan Wake was probably my favorite exclusive, actually. Now that you bring it up, but yeah. But after that, I got fatigued from those, I guess, and I wanted to experience some of the stuff, some of the exclusives PlayStation had to offer. And The Last of Us was a big reason why I made that jump. I like you felt I had to experience that in one way, shape, or form. And I wanted to try all the Uncharted games. And actually, I think I made the decision before Bloodborne was even announced because, would have had to have been before. But what put the cap on it was the whole announcement fiasco. So, when these two were announced, I put a pre-order in for a PlayStation 4 based on what went down at E3 because I didn't, I wanted to be able to sell games and this and that, not have to be always online. Obviously, that changed. But that was a big reason why I made the decision at the time. And at that point, and after it changed back and they reverted on those features, it was like I wasn't changing back to Xbox for that now.
Yeah.
I want to mention one thing real quick. One of the biggest things that I love Xbox for is backwards compatibility. I love that I can play Dead Space and all these games that I own on my 360 and I have to turn on my 360 and not have to buy them again. Again,
if that was announced, like when they announced the console, as well as them not having, if that coupled with them not having those other features when they announced,
not having the worst spokesman in the history of video game press conferences,
I probably would have bought an Xbox if that were the case.
If Phil Spencer was at that launch conference and he was the guy, I think this would have been a lot closer. I don't think maybe Xbox One wouldn't be as far behind. I think it'd be a lot closer because Phil Spencer has a way of talking that I forgot his name, but it was bad. Yeah.
What was it, Don Matrick or something?
Yeah, Don Matrick, yeah.
That guy was a freaking joke, dude. Yeah. He was, oh my God.
There's never been a bigger ball dropped.
So besides the exclusives, what else do you love about the PS4? Why?
I guess technically it's a little more powerful than the Xbox, but I think that's mostly negligible. Unless you're playing them side by side, you're not really going to notice any of that. That is truly a dick measuring contest when people say, well, PS4 is better because it's 0.5 times faster or whatever.
If it was drastically better, if it was drastically faster and better, then people notice that, but it's not to the point where it's
right. Yeah. So other than that, I love the PS4. UI is also pretty simple. I do have some complaints about it, but for the most part, it's easy to figure out. So, the controller is fantastic. I don't play a lot of multiplayer games. Really, I don't play multiplayer games hardly at all, and I don't play with other people hardly at all. So that wasn't a factor when I made that decision. So it's really the exclusives for me.
If I had the money to do so, I would own both consoles. Period.
And this is a conversation worth having as opposed to the PC versus console conversation.
Yeah.
Where console gamers are always, well, how was Uncharted on your PC? It was like, I would bet that 90% of PC gamers also own one or two consoles for those exclusives alone. But here, I think console gamers are more likely to have one or the other.
I think you're more likely if you get a room full of 100 PC gamers and a room full of 100 console gamers, I think you have a higher percentage of those PC gamers owning consoles than the console gamers owning gaming PCs.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think the whole fanboy argument. I think you grow out of it as you get older. I think just there comes a point now where it's like there's no point to have that argument. Like competition breeds the best market for both people. Like PlayStation owners should and want Xbox to do well because guess what? If Xbox isn't doing well, then you're going to get screwed over. Just like the same thing for Xbox. You know, like a competition breeds excellence, and like. If these companies aren't vying for you and doing their best to make the experience better because they don't have any competition, then you have products like Madden. Like, I love Madden, but Madden doesn't have a competitor because they only own an NFL license. Look at NBA 2K and NBA Live. EA makes all these other great sports games, but it seems like they don't have any competition. The one sports game where they have competition, they can't even release their game year to year because it doesn't sell. 2K beat them on that. I know it's going a different direction, but it's like, you know, competition breeds the best for consumers, and I think you'd be dumb to want one to fail over the other, you know? So,
you know, I mentioned last week on the podcast that the reason I am a PlayStation guy is because of Naughty Dog and the Jak and Daxter series on PS2. Before that, I was more of a Nintendo kid, I would say. I had NES, N64, GameCube. And then after the PS2... just like you, Jared, my family got an Xbox 360 just because, PS3 was out of the price range. So as soon as I could, I bought my own PS3 and made that like my primary console. And then by that time, I was just a PlayStation person. Like that was my home base. And even without trophies, that was the system and the ecosystem that mattered to me. So I was kind of locked in for PS4 at that point. The purchase decision for me buying a PS4 was Infamous Second Son. As soon as I started seeing previews for that game, I was just sold, and I was so ready to get a PS4 and so dying to have that game. So that was the initial spark for me. Comparing the two, I would say, the boxes themselves... PS4 looks awesome whether you got the white, black, whatever color you got. The Xbox looks like just a big old hunk of junk to me. It's just
yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Also, if the 20th anniversary PS4 would have been available at launch, I might have bought a PS4.
Oh man, that thing. That thing. Whew.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's how I feel about my white PS4. I think it's like one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen in my life. And I kiss it frequently. But anyways, the Xbox One, like I do think it's pretty ugly. I think that I don't know how they made it that freaking big. Like I don't know what the hell they were doing. I think it was because they didn't want them overheating like the 360s, and so they gave it extra space. But I really like the PS4 box. It sucks that it's like it has like the front and back are like slanted. So if you want to get to the ports on the back, you have to like literally pick your console up. You can't just plug it in and look at it from the top like you could on an Xbox. Xbox One does a lot better job with multitasking.
Yep.
Like anytime you want to multitask in PS4, you have to suspend or close the application that you're using.
Oh man.
And with Xbox One, like Quantum Break, I was playing it the other day and I wanted to watch some YouTube video, so I hopped out real quick, got on YouTube, watched the video, closed YouTube, hopped right back into Quantum Break, and I was going.
Yep.
And with PlayStation, like it's still fast. It's not like you're waiting or anything, but yeah, it does have to suspend the application and then, get you moved over to the other one. So Xbox is way better when it comes to multitasking in that sense.
I think at this point, it's really, if you haven't bought one of these consoles yet, just do your research, see what you prioritize more, see what exclusives mean more to you, and just make the decision on your own. Like, you can't go wrong with either console. I mean, if you have the expendable income, I would say buy both. But, I mean, a lot of people don't have that kind of income to do so. Do your research. They're both worth having. They're both great consoles. I think there's no wrong choice, unless you buy a Wii U, of course. That's the wrong choice.
What's up, everybody? Thanks for checking out the Controlled Interest Gamecast. If you want to stay up to date, remember to subscribe on YouTube and iTunes. and give us a follow on SoundCloud and on Twitter at CTRLINT. Hashtag Smash the Dunst!